Hello and welcome to Star Trek Voyager Across the Unknown, and more broadly, to my brand new YouTube channel. We're going to be journeying across the Delta Quadrant together as we explore the new DLC for this game that's just come out, the Delta Chronicles. So, without further ado, let's jump into a survival run.
So, a few days back, this Captain Janeway breezes into my cozy penal colony like she owns the place. She's stern and smells like coffee and regulations. And the kicker? She's served with my old man on the Albatani. Turns out her security chief, Tuvok, was playing spy on a Maquis ship that vanished in the Badlands. Now Janeway needs that missing ship found, and because of my past associations, I'm apparently the resident expert on the Badlands. I find the missing Maquis. She puts in a good word for me at my next parole review. Simple. Still, the view is infinitely better than a holding cell. It's not every day you get a front row seat on a brand new Intrepid-class starship's maiden voyage. The USS Voyager. Might even get to touch the helm.
A very nice model of Voyager. Gentlemen, welcome to Voyager. Ensign Kim, you're fresh from the Academy. Ready for your first deep space assignment? Reporting for duty, Captain. It's an honor to be here. I hope I live up to your expectations. Ensign Kim, I trust you've already met Tom Paris, our esteemed observer, a former Maquis pilot who will help us search the Badlands for the Maquis vessel. With all due respect, ma'am, observer is hardly a title befitting my talents. I'm the best damn pilot in the sector. Call me Pilot Extraordinaire, Ensign. The Maquis? Wow, I've heard a lot of stories about them. Relax. I was with the Maquis only for a few weeks before I was captured and sent to a lovely little penal colony in New Zealand. Penal colony? Wow, they are really making Harry quite wet. Enough chatter, gentlemen. All hands, this is the captain. Report to your stations. Helm, take us into the Badlands. Maximum warp. The Badlands. A treacherous region of space where violent plasma storms can cripple even the most advanced starships. Captain Janeway observes the swirling chaos from the view screen. A subtle smile plays on her lips. She's ready for the challenge. Well, I sure hope so. Because it begins now. Oh, that's interesting. This looks like it might be the older version of the Voyager model they had in the game. The torpedo launchers there are a little too close together. Scanners are picking up no other vessels in the system, Captain. It's your time to shine, Mr. Paris. Any idea where your former colleagues might be hiding? I wasn't exactly Marquis of the Year, Captain, but they did prefer underground bases, remote planets, and... Captain, I don't mean to interrupt, but I'm reading a coherent Tetrion beam scanning us, and a displacement wave heading towards us. A colossal wave of turbulent energy surges towards Voyager, its power dwarfing anything the crew has ever seen. With no time to analyze the threat, emergency measures are initiated. Red alert. Helm, evasive maneuvers. Too late. The wave will intercept us in 5 seconds. Brace for impact. As the crew regains consciousness, they find their bridge in total devastation. Twisted metal, sparking consoles, and injured crewmates paint a grim picture. What just happened? Damage report. Major hull and deck damage. The transporters are offline, and we're receiving casualty reports. Bridge to sickbay. Doctor, I've got injured crew on the bridge. Doctor? Damn. Captain, we're losing systems across multiple decks. The deuterium tanks are empty. Warp core's gone to grey mode. We're on reserves. Barely. Mr. Paris, take the helm. Scan for the nearest source of deuterium. External sensors are offline. Stellar cartography must be down. Voyager's blind, Captain. Janeway to engineering. We need stellar cartography back online now. Okay, here we go. Now, I have played this game a little before, so I will be skipping through most of the tutorials. But yes, let's get stellar cartography back online. Captain, sensors are picking up something out there, but... What Harry is trying to stammer is, we're not in the Badlands anymore. Also, I apologise for my terrible impressions of the crew, but this is what you'll be stuck with, I'm afraid. What is that thing? Where are we? If our sensors are working, we just jumped over 70,000 light years into the Delta Quadrant. The Delta Quadrant? How? Captain, life support systems are failing. This array will have to wait. Mr. Paris, take the helm. Find us a deuterium source. Okay, so let's scan our system. Oh, there we go. Let's grab the deuterium then. Okay, yeah. I know how this works. So, let's just scan the rest of the system. Okay, and let's grab some deuterium. We can actually go into the ship and do nothing because we don't have any duranium yet. But yes, let's grab some deuterium. Captain, we found an abandoned ship adrift in space. It's powered down but structurally sound, with sealed storage compartments. Well, we have one option here. Let's leave the storage alone and focus on salvaging from other parts of the ship. Well, that's still good enough. Captain, we can now deactivate grey mode. Captain, ready to increase warp core output. Alright, Harry, you little eager ensign. Our energy levels are returning to normal, Captain. Perfect. Good. Now, what about this thing, this array? I can't tell, Captain, but our scanners detected a marquee vessel next to it. Well, let's try hailing them. Hail them. No response, Captain. Scan for life signs. Scan the ship for life signs, Ensign. There's no one on board, Captain. What about the array? Several life forms on board, Captain. Is one of them Vulcan? I'm not sure, Captain. The signals are weak. We'll just have to see for ourselves. I want the transporter room repaired and ready. Mr. Paris, get us to a duranium deposit. We'll need it to repair the transporter room. Okie dokie. Well, we happen to have some duranium right there. Our fuel is fine. Our ship is certainly worse for wear. One thing I do enjoy about the game is that the various ways they've modelled the room, like the stellar cartography in this sort of level 1 appearance, when they bring the view screen from the bridge, instead of just having the full sort of panoramic sort of wall they have later on to make it look like a more primitive version. They do a similar thing with the transporter room. You can see here that you don't have all 6 transporter pads. You've only got 3.5 or 4 maybe, and you don't have the room back there, or the corridor back there. The way this game has modelled the various rooms is quite nice. Like seeing all the little people running around the ship like ants. Alright. So, to the Duranium. We found an abandoned ship adrift in space. It's powered down but structurally sound. Where have we heard that before? Once again, we'll leave the storage and focus on salvaging from other parts of the ship. And once again, we get the average reward. But 36 duranium is still enough. We now have all the duranium we need. Engineering is standing by to repair the transporter, Captain. Okay. Transporters are back online, Captain. Well, that's good. Mr. Paris, set course for the array. It's time we got some answers. But yes, I will just take a brief look at the transporter room. It's so pretty. Right, to the array. And now, actually, now that we've got some duranium, we can start repairing some of the rooms. Let's get this life support online. And let's get the science lab up and running. Ensign Kim and Mr. Paris, get ready for your first away mission. Okay. So away missions are a series of challenges that you meet with these skills that each of your bridge crew have. And you can see the challenges that we'll be facing. So there are 4 challenges, and there'll be a command and a science option, a command medical science, command science, repair or engineering, and so on and so forth. So we'll have options. So let's get into it. Captain, we seem to have materialized in the middle of a cornfield. This place, it's eerily similar to Earth, but something's off. Any suggestions on what to do next? So we can look for any footprints or strange noises, or we can scan for any life signs or strange energy signatures. So in the following section, we're going to choose between command, medical, and science. Let's go with looking for any footprints or strange noises. Though there are no footprints, Harry and Tom notice subtle disturbances in the corn stalks, suggesting a path. Following these signs, they soon find a farm with people working the fields. An old man sits on the porch of a nearby farmhouse, strumming a banjo. Is that you, Banjo Man? Captain, this old man seems harmless enough. He might know what's going on here. How should we approach him? So, do we demand to know what's going on, try to read his body language, or argue with facts that this can't be a farm on Earth? I might want to save Harry for our next challenge. So yeah, let's try to read his body language for any clues. Harry and Tom discreetly observe the old man, trying to analyze his body language. Something feels off, like he's putting on an act, but they can't quite put a finger on why. The old man seems perplexed by their presence, muttering about Harry and Tom being early and how it is not their turn yet. He invites them to stay on the farm and wait, offering them some fresh corn cobs. The absolute bastard. The old man isn't much help. We'll try to find the marquee ourselves. There's a large barn behind the farmhouse. The tricorder readings are off the charts. There's definitely something strange about it, especially that back wall. Tom actually brings some repair or engineering, but I think Harry can solo this, and we could do with some more deuterium. Although I do like science. Let's analyze what these strange readings could be. Oh dear. The energy readings are baffling. Suddenly, the people from the field burst in, wielding farm tools as weapons. The old man appears and reveals the barn is an illusion, the back wall dissolving to show a bluish glowing room where unconscious people, including a tattooed man and a half-Klingon woman, lie on surgical tables. Oh dear. These people must be the missing Marquis. They are being held here, Captain. We must get them out of here. Well, let's go with the deuterium, although the duranium is nice. Let's go with the deuterium. Wake up the half-Klingon woman. Harry sprints towards the half-Klingon woman, hoping to rouse her. As he reaches out, the old man stops him, a look of concern on his face. Before Harry can react, a blinding white light fills the room, and everything goes blank. Okay, well, we succeeded at that. Minus that little error. Captain Janeway anxiously awaits the return of her away team when Harry Kim unexpectedly materializes behind her. What happened on the array? Whoa, I'm back on Voyager? What happened over there, Mr. Kim? We lost contact with you for several hours. Hours? But we were just there, right, Tom? Tom? Seems like he's still on the array. I hope... Captain, we're being hailed by the Marquis. Starfleet. I don't know what you did to our commander, but I can still ram this wreck into your precious starship. Ram us? One of our own is also missing. It would make sense for us to postpone the ramming until we are all accounted for. Does that sound reasonable? Catherine, that sounds kind of flirty, but you do you. We're beaming over. Despite Janeway's invitation, the arrival of the Marquis crew is fraught with tension. Both sides remain wary as they prepare to discuss their shared predicament. Don't play games, Starfleet. We're armed and ready to defend ourselves. I wouldn't have it any other way. Glad to have you back, Tuvok. Likewise, Captain. Miss Torres, I must inform you that I was assigned to infiltrate the Marquis. I never liked you, Vulcan. That is unsurprising. I assure you I performed my Marquis duties to the highest standards. Patak! You win some, you lose some. Let's focus on bringing Mr. Paris and your commander back. His name is Chakotay, and we can't get back in that easy. They're sealed, and their communications are cut off. Lieutenant Tuvok, get down to engineering and find a way to bypass whatever's jamming our communications. Report back as soon as you have a solution. Captain, the ship's status remains critical. Repair protocols are imperative. We require resources and the engineering office to mobilize additional workforces. Prioritize life support, secure core decks, and restore Deck 5 functionality first to gain access to the engineering office. Well, Tuvok, we're way ahead of you. Life support restored on Deck 5, Captain. Engineering office is now accessible. And of course, it's a mess. We'll have to fix it before we can even use it. We need to collect more duranium. And indeed we do. Yeah, let's go straight there. Okay, now that the science lab is up and running, let's get Harry living here. And let's actually do some research. Since we are... where is it? Here we go. Since we're running low on duranium, I think a good start will be this plasma torch, which gives us an extra 25% more resources for clearing rooms. Okay. We came across an abandoned mining station. The station is under lockdown and seems to be damaged. Well, we only have one option here, so we will safely search for anything valuable. There we go. Some of our luck is starting to turn. Yes, let's repair this. Until completion, it would be logical to scan all planets in the system and gather more deuterium and uranium. Way ahead of you, Tuvok. That will probably do us for now, so let's grab some more deuterium. Sensors detect a dense cloud of interstellar gas with an unusually high concentration of deuterium. Let's risk Voyager. Screw it. What's the worst that can happen? Yeah, I can live with that. Well, let's grab some more duranium. Okay, engineering office is operational. Engineering office fully operational again, Captain. We now have an additional work team to carry out 2 tasks simultaneously. Well, look at us in the 24th century being able to multitask. I suppose that's not even multitasking, that's just assigning 2 different groups to 2 different tasks. Logically, we should now focus on Deck 2 and the mess hall to ensure the crew's food supply, maintaining their physical endurance. This requires reactivating life support in that section first. Thank you, Tuvok. Life support restored on Deck 2, Captain. Access to the mess hall is now possible. However, it has sustained extensive damage. Emergency rations are currently deployed. After repair, the crew can access replicator rations again. Okay. Yep, I think we should get this cooking. Repairs in progress. Tuvok, I really hope you're going to stop talking soon. Until completion, we should address crew accommodation. The ruined room must be cleared to create room for residential sections. Well, that is true, but if we can wait 7 more days, we'll get more resources for clearing that ruined room, and in the meantime we can get more systems repaired. Let's focus on the torpedo launch bay. Okay. Excellent. So the mess hall is operational, and we can actually switch to premium replicator rations, which we may as well do to try and curb the morale loss. And we also have our torpedo launch bay. That doesn't look like careful maintenance of a torpedo, just plip-plopping with your hands. Okay, let's get the workshop cooking. But we're here at some duranium. And now we can actually use our torpedo launch bay. Even though we don't actually have any torpedoes, let's destroy the vessel and salvage the debris. Beautiful. So, let's get the phaser control room functioning. And let's make our way to this deuterium. There we go. Alright, fine. Let's clear the room Tuvok really wants us to. Yes, yes, yes. How's our science coming? We are 2 days away. Perfect. Okay, so workshop is operational. Let's get the shield generator functioning. Okay, plasma torch is good. Yeah, field training. Because the only other real option, to consider would be the crew quarters, but I think it's going to be a while before we can afford to build those, both materially and in terms of the amount of space they take up. So let's concentrate on boosting the things that we can use. Sensors detect a dense cloud of interstellar gas with an unusually high concentration of deuterium. Well, let's just deploy some collector probes, because we can't fit much more than this anyway. Okay. Wait until the ruined room is cleared. That will be 2 days. Let's vaguely start heading back to the array, because I suspect that we're going to need to go there soon. Okay, shield generator up and running. And let's get sickbay functioning. And that's probably it for what we can repair, because the shuttle bay requires tritanium, which we are a little ways away from acquiring, as does the aero shuttle bay. So, ruined room. Ruined room removal concluded. Maybe we should rebuild some crew quarters now. It'll do wonders for morale, Captain. Alright, Harry. I don't like listening to you, but you are right. Let's get some emergency crew quarters. Okay. Alright, Tuvok, what have you got for us? Captain, the array's jamming signal has been neutralized. We should be able to establish communication. Let's hope they respond. Hail the array. Ah, who's this? Why are you bothering me? Oh, it's you. Why are you back? You don't have what I need. I remember that voice, Captain. It's the old man with the banjo. But his form is entirely different compared to how he appeared on the array. It's Banjo Man. He's back. As a blob. I'm Captain Janeway of the Federation starship Voyager. We mean you no harm. We just want our people back. Your people? Your people are no longer here. They might have what I need. You'll just have to leave them. Okay. Well, let's scan the array first, since that's an optional. I won't rely on the words of a stranger. Scan the array for life signs of Tom and Chakotay. No sign of them, Captain, and no humanoid life forms indicated at all. Who or what are we talking to right now? It's a blob, Harry. You're talking to a blob. So I think we will begin this playthrough with Starfleet principles. But I also think that letting B'Elanna have a crack at this might be the way to go. Alright, B'Elanna, you're up. No, listen here, you oversized jello. Return Chakotay, or I'll use that banjo in ways only a Klingon could. Got it? The struggle for survival. It is a heavy burden, but I have no time for this. There just isn't enough time. Wow, shockingly that worked. Time for what? To ensure their survival. Whose survival? I hope you're not talking about Chakotay and the pilot. Your people? No. Your people may just hold the key to their survival. And I must hurry. No, no, you're stealing my time. Don't you understand? I don't have time. Not enough time. We've been cut off, Captain. This is getting us nowhere. We need to find our people, fast. You managed to extract valuable information, Miss Torres. I commend you for that. Captain, if I may? I have observed that the array has been sending energy pulses towards the fifth planet of the neighbouring system ever since our arrival. Given the lack of information regarding our missing crew's location, investigating this planet appears to be the most logical next step. It's the only lead we have. Thoughts, Miss Torres? I don't like this any more than you do, but it'll be easier if we work together, Captain. Hell, Set course for the 5th planet of the neighboring system. Let's find our people. Set a course for the 5th planet in the neighboring system. Maximum warp. Go to sector. Oh, time is still advancing. And we've got sickbay operational. Excellent. There we go. Not quite the sickbay we see in the show, but I'm pretty sure it will upgrade to that later. And let's make our way to Ocampa. Okay, emergency quarters are operational. So these crew 12 people for the cost of 2 power and 1 morale per cycle, which isn't great, but it is better than what we previously had of them sleeping in the corridors. So yeah, we can start clearing more rooms on Deck 5. So one thing I like to do, as we build up the ship, I would like to try and get most of our combat-related systems onto a single deck, Deck 5 here, because eventually we are going to run out of deuterium, and at some point in the game we're going to have to go back down to grey mode. And when that happens, we'll have so little power we can't afford to power up multiple decks. So having our shield generator and our phasers on a single deck will make it easier to keep the ship defendable. The downside of that is that firstly we'll have to move our combat systems and build them only on this deck, and secondly, if we ever lose this life support, all of our combat systems will be kaput. But it does make more sense for the fuel efficiency of the ship. It does also mean that these crew quarters that we're going to be building will eventually have to be removed, because I don't like them on Deck 5. Maybe even the science lab as well, because that's not a... It's still quite nice. Anyway, let's continue on to Ocampa. So we've cleared this ruined room. So let's build a second emergency quarters. Alright. Excellent, perfect timing. So, I kind of skipped over it earlier, but this is the various research trees that we have access to. Now, the Borg section here is something that we don't know about, so we don't have to worry about it. We've got our combat tree. We've got science, including a hydroponics bay, our crew section, and our engineering section. Now, we currently have all Tier 1 levels unlocked, so we can start working on any Tier 1 researches. We'd have to research Tier 2 in order to access any of those. And annoyingly, Tier 2 in engineering doesn't unlock Tier 2 in any other of the trees. So it's going to be fairly resource intensive on science and dilithium in order to get up all of the trees. For now, though, let's grab Inspired Workforce. I would like crew quarters, but it's going to be a while before we can build those anyway. Oh, there we go, another room cleared. Perfect. And I think we should immediately start on more emergency quarters. We could do with a bit more deuterium. Well, let's scan. What have we got in this system? A spatial anomaly, that's always fun. Alright, let's investigate Ocampa. Captain, we've reached our destination. Orders? Let's see what we have here. Following the array's energy pulses, Voyager discovers a desert planet with a harsh, unforgiving landscape. Are Tom Paris and Commander Chakotay perhaps being held in this place? What makes this place so special? Well, let's check the energy impulses. Anything noteworthy about the energy pulses? They are consistently targeting a single location, a barren piece of the desert. I recommend an away team investigates the area. There is something else. The interval between each pulse has decreased by 0.47 seconds since we left the array. Hey, it's our first 4-7. Woo! They're getting faster. The entity said he's running out of time, right? Whatever that means, we'd better hurry. Let's do a general scan of the planet. Let's see what we can learn about this planet. It has all the basic characteristics of a Class M planet, but no ocean, no river, nothing. However, there are settlements. Well, we may as well try for more. Let's take a look at what happened here. The atmosphere contains no nucleogenic particles, Captain. The planet is incapable of producing rain. I've studied thousands of Class M planets. I've never seen an atmosphere without nucleogenics. There must have been some kind of extraordinary environmental disaster. Wasn't there something about ensuring their survival? Can't be easy to survive in that hellhole. Alright, let's send an away team. We'll examine this world firsthand. But by firsthand, I mean, you know, the unlucky schmucks I send and not myself. Captain, a small ship is approaching. They're hailing us. On screen. A peculiar alien with a mischievous grin greets Voyager from his chaotic vessel. Neither Starfleet nor the Marquis have ever seen such a species before. Perhaps an inhabitant of the Delta Quadrant? Greetings! Looking for something on this dusty old rock? Would we find anything, Mr. Neelix? Never seen a ship like yours. Let me guess, you were whisked away from somewhere else in the galaxy and brought here against your will. Sounds as though you've heard this story before. Thousands of times. Well, hundreds of times. Maybe 50 times. But the caretaker has been bringing ships here for months now. The caretaker? That's what the Ocampa call him. He's probably snatched some of your crew too, right? They're likely down on the planet with the Ocampa. But, Captain, it's a tricky place. Dangerous. You could use a guide. But, of course, a guide needs a little, you know, compensation? Sounds fair. Wonderful! To be honest, I've had it rough recently. Those pesky void vols have been nibbling away at my supplies. Some food and water would be most welcome. If you help us find our missing crew, you can have all the food and water you want. Janeway, come on. That's not a great negotiating tactic. Haggle a little. You know, give him enough food and water to maybe survive. It's a deal! Of course it's a deal. Right, rebuild Voyager and explore the system or skip cycles until Neelix is ready to talk. Okay. So emergency quarters, and we're getting there. Let's clear this room. Our sensors have detected a small but stable spatial anomaly. It is not dangerous, but could provide valuable scientific data. While the detailed analysis is just generally better, there's a slight potential for a negative outcome, but let's go for it. What's the worst that can happen? The analysis was only partially successful. Hey, I'll take whatever science I can get. Now, we are really starting to run low on deuterium, especially because we are trying to feed them with our premium replicator rations. 17 deuterium per cycle. Damn. These are hungry buggers. We'll stock up on 900 deuterium. Yeah, we can manage that. Maybe right now. Hang on, presumably Neelix. Let's fire our non-existent torpedoes and destroy this abandoned ship. Come on. Oh, that's not good. We need more deuterium. You'll have to wait. Yeah, go for it. Collect any easily accessible. That wouldn't quite bring us to our required 900, so we'll have to try and use the tractor beam. Come on, tractor beam, don't let me down. There we go. Lieutenant Lani, I hope you're happy. Alright, fine. What a delicious meal! A culinary masterpiece. I've never encountered such a tangy but comforting, smooth yet vibrant concoction. What was it called again? Tomato soup. Tomato soup! I'm something of a culinary wizard myself, you know. My Alfarian hair pasta bowl is widely known for its bold, mouth-watering taste. I don't want anything that's mouth-watering from you, Neelix. Mr. Neelix, I am pleased you are enjoying yourself, but we need your assistance. Now. Ah, yes, your missing crew. Right. Scan the southern continent and look for a range of dead volcanoes. At their foot, you'll find a Kazon Ogler encampment. Kazon, what? One Kazon sect of many. They control this part of the quadrant. They're a bit difficult, but with the right approach, even they can be reasoned with. I thought you said the Okompa had our people. Well, the Okompa do have your people. It's just finding them is a bit tricky. My old pal Marge Jabin, the Ogler leader, might know where to look. He's a nice guy. A bit gruff, but he owes me a favour. Well, let's find out more about the Kazon. Anything else we should know about these Kazon Ogler? Water is a precious commodity around these parts. The Ogler, they mostly get theirs through trade, so a little liquid diplomacy would go a long way. Oh, Neelix, no liquid diplomacy. I don't want to know what that means. Very well. Prepare an away team, and you'll accompany them, Mr. Neelix. Yeah, we're getting more duranium from the room clearing, so there's no point in doing anything other than going directly there. Ruined room. Perfect. So, 2 more emergency crew quarters, and we will be fully quartered up for our 50 crew members. That's a lot of casualties. That's, what, around 100 people presumably killed as we left the Badlands for the Delta Quadrant? Captain, we've reached our destination. Orders? Well, let's send them down. So we've got Neelix. So we're going to need command, tactical, science. Good old Tuvok brings all of that. We also have a recommended trait. We've got Talaxian already, but we need survivalist and innovator. Now, survivalist is Chakotay, who's not currently with us, but innovator is Bologna's trait. The away team materializes in a small valley between the dead volcanoes. The sun burns down on them mercilessly, the air is hot and dry, and a sandy wind whips into their eyes. Captain, our tricorders are malfunctioning, probably because of the energy impulses. How do we get our bearings in this dust bowl? So yeah, this is where Chakotay would have been vaguely useful. Instead, we will struggle through to a vantage point thanks to Tuvok. Or maybe we won't. The away team finds it difficult to make progress in the harsh conditions. Wind and sand slow them down, and the uneven terrain often causes them to stumble. Eventually, they reach a ledge. Exhausted and disoriented, in the distance, they spot the Kazon Ogler settlement. However, the wind is picking up, and a massive sandstorm is approaching from the south. Captain, A sandstorm is heading our way. We need to find cover fast. Do we design an intelligent shelter, build a temporary shelter, or analyze the area? Now, I do like science. A little bit of duranium would be nice. So let's go with Bellana's special trait, the Innovator. Bellana wastes no time. With impressive efficiency, she swiftly constructs a wind-resistant shelter from the surrounding debris, all the while grumbling about the perceived incompetence of the Starfleet team. After what seems like an eternity, the storm subsides. The away team emerges unharmed and sets off in the direction of the Kazon Ogla settlement. Captain, we've reached the settlement. How should we approach the people here? Well, morale is always a nice thing to have. So we can let Neelix do the introduction. We can approach in a typical Starfleet manner, which ironically would be done by Neelix, who is not Starfleet. Or we can approach intimidatingly, weapons at the ready. Neelix, you may as well show us why you're useful. Neelix bounds forward, greeting the Kazon Ogla in his usual boisterous manner. The women and children seem to recognize him, but their expressions are skeptical rather than welcoming. The men approach cautiously, weapons in hand. A tall Kazon emerges from the settlement, Jabin, their leader. At the sight of Neelix, his face darkens. In the background, a badly bruised young woman who looks nothing like a Kazon, but more like a human with pointy ears, peers around a corner. Seems like the Kazon didn't find Neelix as charming as he led us to believe. How should we appease them, Captain? Assure them we have no bad intentions, demonstrate strength, or offer water in exchange for information about the Ocampa. This is a nice option, but with the duranium we got earlier, the morale would be more useful. And hey, let's be diplomatic, at least at first. Neelix, this is your chance to not screw up. Come on. Oh dear. Despite the away team's attempts to assure Jabin of their peaceful intentions, their words seem to fall on deaf ears. He angrily orders the away team to leave his planet and to leave Neelix behind, with whom he has a score to settle. As proof of his power, Jabin gestures towards the bruised woman, an Ocampa. He is holding her as a slave and proclaims Neelix will make a fine addition to his servants. Suddenly, Neelix grabs a phaser. He points it at Jabin and demands the Ocampa woman be freed. Things are getting out of hand, Captain. We should retreat. So, do we appease and carefully withdraw? Do we do a tactical retreat? Or do we secure the retreat with phaser fire? Come on, Neelix. Make up for your previous failure by appeasing them. You're the reason we're in this mess. Oh dear. Neelix is very injured. The away team attempts to appease the Kazon, but their efforts are met with anger and suspicion. Jabin, enraged by Neelix's actions, orders his men to attack. The away team suffers minor injuries before managing to break away and flee. It's kind of fitting that you were the only one hurt, though, Neelix. No injury-free bonus, that's a shame. Safely back on Voyager, Neelix surprises the rest of the away team as he and the rescued woman kiss passionately. How deep does the relationship between the two go? And does it involve liquid diplomacy? My dearest Kess, didn't I promise I'd save you? I knew you would come for me, my love. You lied and endangered my crew. This is not how trust is built, Mr. Neelix. He was desperate, Captain, but I understand. I want to repay you and your crew for saving me. I'm Ocampa, and if your crew are with my people, then I can take you to them. There's a tunnel that leads to our underground city, but the caretaker sealed it with a security barrier. We may be able to transport through the barrier if it has the slightest breach. A transporter signal amplifier would be necessary. Excellent idea. Kess, can you help us once we've located the breach? Of course. It's the least I can do. I'm grateful. Now, Kess, if it's so dangerous on the surface, why did you leave your home? I felt a strong pull to explore the world beyond the city. I yearned for the freedom to discover new things and learn about myself. Seeing my people so dependent on the caretaker, unable to even think for themselves, it was unbearable. We once possessed telepathic abilities, but these atrophied over many generations. What can you tell us about the caretaker? For generations, he has provided the Okompa with food, water, energy, and protection from the outside world. Any idea why he does it, or where he comes from? No. We do have stories and legends about him, but they're just stories and legends. Kess, Mr. Neelix, I'm curious. How did you two meet? I met Kess while I was trading with the Akazon Ogla. They enslaved her, but she was kind, even to someone like me. And my liquid diplomacy, I had to get her out. He visited, brought me gifts, made me laugh. He was the only good thing in that terrible place. We fell in love. Did you? Did you? I admit I used you, Captain. I apologize. But I'd do it again in a heartbeat. Well, that's an apology, I guess. We have things to do. Alright, someone get started on that transporter signal amplifier, and Kess, we'll go to sickbay and have you examined. Captain, the science lab is back online. We can start researching the signal amplifier. Computer, initiate emergency medical holographic program. With no other options available, Captain Janeway activates Voyager's emergency medical hologram. A shimmering figure materializes in sickbay, ready to provide critical care. Please state the nature of the medical emergency. Doctor, our chief medical officer is dead. You have to take care of sickbay for now. And this patient, Kess. There's no need for concern. I'm capable of treating any injury or disease. A broken ulna, a few minor bruises and grazes, nothing I can't handle. You are in the most capable hands, young lady. Thank you, Doctor. That's very kind of you. I expect you to do your best, Doctor. Do my best? Captain, I am programmed for optimal medical care. What else would I do? Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a patient to attend to, and a sickbay to reorganize. So now we need to research the transporter signal amplifier, which will pause our inspired workforce, but that's not a big deal. In fact, yeah, let's leave for now, and we can skip days manually. Yes, I know about the tech tree. Alright, ruined room. Ooh, yes, let's do that. Captain, the blueprints for the signal amplifier are complete. However, to start production, we need to repair the workshop. Well, way ahead of you, Tuvok. Workshop repaired, Captain. We can start production of the signal amplifier. Yeah, let's get that going. Do we have anyone that can speed it up? Bellona. Oh, yes. Neelix was injured, wasn't he? Is he in sickbay? Yes, there we go. And we can assign the Doctor, who's already level 3. That's fun. And we also cleared this room. And we do need another emergency crew quarters. So let's get that cooking. Okay, so emergency quarters. Oh, and we got our inspired workforce. Let's get Captain's acknowledgement, why not? And now, even though we've still got 2 crew members without quarters, our morale's finally in the positive. Although partly because of all of the premium food they're scoffing down. Okay. The signal amplifier has been completed and is ready for use, Captain. It would be wise to make haste back to the Okompa. Before we go, Let's grab a little more fuel. No, actually, I think we can survive. We might even get some fuel from the away mission. Oh. Ooh, what we can do for extra morale is to put Neelix here, because he'll give us 5 morale per cycle. There we go. It might be worth grabbing a cargo bay for more storage, actually. To Ocampa. We need tactical, repairs, and command, so Tuvok is the natural fit. Oh, and someone who's good at repairs. Harry. But I want to send B'Elanna because she's lower level than Harry. Alright, let's beam down. Upon materializing near the tunnel entrance, a group of Kazon is already there, tinkering with the security barrier in frustration. As soon as they notice the away team, they reach for their weapons, but hesitate. "Careful!" shouts one of them. "Don't let them butter you up!" "Captain, the Kazon seem to be more cautious this time, but they're still ready to attack. What are our orders?" We've got show of force, attempt to negotiate safe passage, or use a transporter module to make a harmless object appear, causing a distraction. Tuvok seems a good choice because our next challenge will require engineering, which B'Elanna can handle, and science, which everyone can contribute to. So Tuvok will have a chance to recover. So yeah, let's go for show of force. The away team raises their phasers, approaching the Kazon with an intimidating demeanor. The Kazon, remembering the away team's previous display of wit, hesitate. They are unsure whether to risk a confrontation and eventually back down, allowing the away team to proceed to the tunnel entrance. "Captain, we've reached the tunnel entrance, using the transporter signal amplifier now to find possible breaches in the security barrier. B'Elanna, you're not going to be able to do anything in the next challenge, so we'll use the amplifier to locate breaches in the barrier." The away team deploys the transporter signal amplifier, carefully scanning the barrier for any vulnerabilities. After a tense few minutes, they locate a small breach in the energy field. They successfully transport themselves through the opening and into the tunnel. Beyond the barrier, the tunnel opens into a breathtaking sight. Embedded in a large cavern is a futuristic environment with smooth, white walls glowing in warm white light and sprinkled with patches of green. This is the Ocampa City. "Captain, we're inside the Ocampa City, but it's a maze of streets and chambers. How should we proceed to find Tom and Chakotay? We can let Kes lead the search, or we can conduct a systematic search of the city. Morale is nice. Let's go with Kes being useful. Kes approaches a group of Ocampa, respectfully asking for assistance in locating the missing Tom and Chakotay. The Ocampa, touched by her concern, eagerly provide directions to a medical facility. The away team eventually finds their crew members, awake but disoriented, surrounded by strange medical equipment. Chakotay instinctively reaches for a weapon, but before any confrontation can occur, the ground starts to shake violently. A message from Captain Janeway cuts through the joy of reunion. The caretaker array has apparently repositioned itself and is now firing at the tunnel entrance. We need to get out of here. Duranium would be nice. The final... Yeah, let's go with Duranium, because the final challenge requires repairs and science, which the other two can handle just fine. So we'll clear a path. The away team clears a path through the collapsing tunnels, using their phasers to blast away debris and create a safe passage. They dodge falling rocks and collapsing ceilings, ensuring everyone escapes safely. Soon they reach the exit, the security barrier the only thing standing between them and their escape. The tremors are interfering with the signal amplifier's focus, Captain. The connection is constantly being interrupted. We can't beam out like this. so we can stabilize the transporter signal, or we can analyze the tremor's interference pattern and recalibrate the transporter signal amplifier accordingly. Which gets us some science, so we may as well. And we can... yeah, let's bring everyone, and then we can have a better chance of critting it and getting more reward. The team analyzes the tremor's interference pattern and quickly recalibrates the transporter signal amplifier to compensate. The transporter signal stabilizes, allowing the away team to lock onto the beam and materialize safely back on Voyager. There we go. Back on Voyager, Tom Paris breathes a sigh of relief while Chakotay eyes his Starfleet rescuers with suspicion. The Maquis commander struggles to understand this sudden alliance. Commander Chakotay, welcome aboard Voyager. I'm Captain Catherine Janeway. And Mr. Paris, it's good to have my pilot back. What? No champagne? Not even the replicated? I'm Commander Chakotay of the Maquis. Torres, what's going on here? Long story, Chakotay. Short version, we're stuck with Federation sycophants in the Delta Quadrant. And we share a common goal, getting back home. Anything you learned on the planet could help us. Did you learn anything about the caretaker? They say he's been acting out of the ordinary lately, abducting people. And he increased their power supply to half a decade. And he destroyed the tunnels. It sounds like he's preparing for something, but what? What can you tell us about the Ocampa? Naive, friendly, they don't get out much, and that's good because they wouldn't survive. Apparently, they've been living underground for longer than anyone can remember. That's true. Our ancestors lived on the surface once. Ancient journals tell us the caretaker opened a deep chasm and led us underground. Any idea why? They mentioned warming? The day our surface turned into a desert. On that day, the caretaker appeared and built our city. Since then, he has provided for the Ocampa to ensure their survival. Say again, Lieutenant Tuvok? There is enough evidence for me to form a reasonable hypothesis, Captain. The Ocampa homeworld turned into a desert from one day to the next. The caretaker's immediate arrival seems to be no coincidence. I assume he is responsible for the ecological damage. Building the underground city and caring for them, he seems to be trying to make amends. In addition, it was mentioned that the caretaker provided the Ocampa with a mere 5 years' worth of energy, coupled with the destruction of the access tunnels, and his frequent references to running out of time. The logical conclusion is that he does not intend to continue his role as caretaker. I believe he is dying. If he dies, how the hell are we supposed to get home? The caretaker mentioned that you might have what he needs. Can you make sense of that? We woke up covered in scabs. The Ocampa said we were sent away to prevent some kind of plague. Except we weren't sick before. They also mentioned others with the same disease, but they didn't last. They died? I want you both in sickbay, now. Captain, their condition is unusual. It appears to be a cellular disruption caused by the introduction of foreign genetic material. Their bodies are rejecting it, rather violently, I might add. They're fortunate. A few more days and the cellular disruption would have been fatal. Foreign genetic material? For what purpose? An excellent question, Commander. It appears to have been introduced deliberately, though why anyone would want to inject them with incompatible DNA is beyond my comprehension. Prognosis, Doctor? I've already started the treatment. With my expertise, they should make a full recovery. The doctor's discovery further confirms my hypothesis, Captain. Aware of his imminent death, the caretaker is enacting measures to safeguard the Okompa for as long as possible. However, they will run out of energy eventually, so he seeks a successor, someone who holds the key to their survival. A compatibility with the caretaker's DNA. This explains the abduction and subsequent testing of individuals from various sectors. If he dies before finding a suitable successor, we'll be stranded. We have to return to the array before it's too late. Captain, given the caretaker's reluctance to cooperate, a more assertive approach may be necessary. The Vulcan's right. If that overgrown energy blob won't send us home, we'll blast our way out. Phasers, torpedoes, the whole shebang. I believe a bit of tactical planning is in order. Shields first, then phasers. Our offensive and defensive capabilities have been restored, Captain. However, I suggest a test run to verify system functionality and to assess our temporary flight control officer's performance in combat. Excuse me? This ace pilot knows more maneuvers than Starfleet can throw Greek letters and numbers together. Except the one for evading Starfleet custody. Ooh, that's a nice burn there, Chakotay. Gentlemen, enough. Tuvok is right. We need to test our combat systems, but we lack a sparring partner. You have one. Our ship. Seriously, Chakotay? All the marquee on the Valjean as Starfleet target practice? What could possibly go wrong? Bellona, focus. We need preparation. I will pilot the Valjean, Captain. Just remember to set your phasers to simulation. Oh, wouldn't that be a shame if I forgot that? I'll keep it in mind, Commander. Not I'll do it, just I'll think about it. To combat. So... I think for this we'll go for a Harry Tuvok Tom. Sorry, Harry Tuvok Tom. Because Harry gives us shield hacking, which we can then immediately follow up with Tuvok's extra phasers. And Tom just for general evasive uses. Here we go.
What are your orders, Captain?
So, orders... Yeah, I know how this works. So, with a lot of weaker enemies, I think the best approach is to just go straight for their singular weapon systems rather than trying to disable their shields first. Because that way, once their weapons are disabled, they can't possibly hurt us, and it doesn't matter if it takes us longer to defeat them.
Moving to attack the front, Captain.
Okay, here we go.
Ability ready, Captain. Ability ready, Captain. Ability ready, Captain.
Okay.
Enemy shields destroyed, Captain.
There we go, a nice little 1-2 punch. So we may as well switch targets to the shield
Moving to attack
generator.
the port side, Captain. Ability ready, Captain. Enemy shields destroyed, Captain. Ability ready, Captain. Ability ready, Captain. Ability ready, Captain.
There we go. Unsurprisingly, we defeated them handily. Boom! That's how it's done. Not bad for a temporary guy, huh, Tuvok? Your methods were unconventional. However, the objective was achieved. An acceptable performance. One more thing, Captain. Whatever awaits us at the array, the Valjean should be in a support position for Voyager. Alright. Have the transporter room standing by in case your crew needs an emergency beam out. Let's show this quadrant what we're really made of. So we need to head back to the array. Excellent, we're full of morale. In fact, since we're so full of morale, I'm going to take us off the premium and just get us a few more days of fuel. And yes, I'm going to grab a little fuel before we walk back. Oh yes, ruined room. Perfect. Yeah. Yeah, let's do that, because that's basically the only thing that'll fit there anyway. Let's just have a safer probe collection. Well, perhaps a little too safe. Okay. And there's plenty of fuel back here, so yeah, we'll be fine. Ooh, cargo bay is online. We'll leave that for now, but we might change it to Duranium as we clear more rooms. Excellent, so emergency crew quarters is operational. Yeah, let's change this over to Duranium, and then we can clear these rooms and not have those resources go to waste, because we can now accommodate 150 Duranium instead of 100. Okay, ruined room. Oh, captain's acknowledgement. Handy, handy. Let's get crew quarters researched. Okay, so that's cleared. Yeah, let's hold off for now. Okay, so that's cleared. Fine, we'll build another cargo bay. We can build it over here, why not? This is definitely something that I'm going to move at a later date. But yes. Alright, let's go. It seems we were expected, Captain. It's the Kazon. The lead ship is hailing us. They're probably not calling to chat. I'll have our Marquis Raider manned. You'll have support if this turns into a fight, Captain. Excellent idea, but let's see what the Kazon have to say first. Back for more, are you? Don't think your silk tongue will work this time. I love this. All we care about is getting home, Jabin. We will beam over to the array and see if we can arrange that. Oh, I'm sure you have another fancy speech prepared for the entity, but I won't allow it. We have no dispute with you. Of course not. You'd rather talk your way into getting what you want. This is absurd. We have no intention of challenging you. I'm not as gullible as you think. The array's power is mine. Jabin, can we discuss this like two civilized... He's disconnected, Captain, and they're powering up their weapons. Battle stations. No, I think we'll go with instant shield recharge. Let's
What
go.
are your orders, Captain?
Let's go straight for the big boy and go for his weapons system
Moving to attack the front,
as
Captain.
quickly as possible.
Ability ready, Captain.
Come on. We may even end up using a few photons.
Ability ready, Captain.
Oh. Yeah.
Enemy shields destroyed, Captain.
Okay, so that ship has had his weapons disabled. Let's switch to... Yeah, let's switch to this
Moving to attack the front,
weapons.
Captain. Ability ready, Captain. Enemy is surrendered, Captain.
Okay, so that leaves that target, and yeah, once again we'll go for the weapons. Now the Valjean has taken a little damage. We'll see if that's enough damage
Ability ready,
for
Captain.
Chakotay to write it off. Oh, I did that in the wrong order, but oh well. I think we've got this.
An enemy is surrendered, Captain.
Yeah, let's go for their warp core.
Enemy shields destroyed.
There we go. Are we going to lose the Valjean? Is my question. Which, to be honest, is the only reason I fired a torpedo. That went better than expected. Our raider is still in good shape. Yes! We've got the Valjean. I'll keep it close by, just in case more Kazon decide to show up. So yes, if you hit a certain damage threshold, I believe it is, for the Valjean, even if it's still got like 60-70% of hull, it will decide to sacrifice itself, much like it did in the episode. And it's quite handy to have it as a combat ally. You are strong, Captain, but there is strength in numbers. I have called for reinforcements. This array will be mine! Then I guess we don't have much time. Hail the array. Well, aren't you persistent? We need you to send us back where we came from. Impossible. I've barely enough strength to complete my work. I must protect the Ocampa. If I don't, the Kazon will steal their water. They won't be able to survive. It does seem like it was your fault. Yeah, let's blame him. Something you did turned their planet into a desert, didn't it? That was the debt that could never be repaid. We were explorers from another galaxy. We had no idea our technology would devastate their atmosphere. 2 of us were chosen to stay behind and care for them. 2? Where's the other? She went off to look for more interesting places. Did you ever consider allowing the Ocampa to care for themselves? They're children. Children grow up. They need challenges. Maybe the Ocampa are stronger than you think. You've dragged us into this. You need to send us... Captain? Jabin wasn't bluffing. His reinforcements have arrived. I could try to access the array's systems to transport us to the Alpha Quadrant, Captain. No, I'm fading. Time is up. If you leave, the array will be left to the Kazon. They will annihilate the Ocampa. You must destroy it. Don't listen to him! We'll be stranded! Please, protect the Ocampa. The caretaker fades away, collapsing into an inert, crystalline form. Janeway is now faced with an impossible choice. Return home to the Alpha Quadrant, leaving the Ocampa defenseless, or sacrifice Voyager's return to ensure their safety. The clock is ticking. He's gone. Captain, the Kazon are closing in. Shall I try to access the primary control systems to send us back? Well, I don't really want that on my conscience, and the Kazon have been enough of a problem for me, so let's destroy the array. We never asked to be involved, but we are. I won't trade the lives of the Ocampa for our convenience. Lieutenant Tuvok, ready the Tri-Cobalt devices. What are you doing? The array's our only way out of here. You can't... I can, and I will. Tri-Cobalt devices ready, Captain. Fire. We'll find another way home, I promise. Who do you think you are, making the decision for all of us? It was the right decision, B'Elanna. The Ocampa. They remind me of our people. We were fighting a more powerful enemy to protect our own. The Ocampa deserve that too. 70,000 light years. We're really stranded, aren't we? Great. Now I'll definitely miss my next parole review. A missed parole review should not be your primary concern at the moment, Mr. Paris. Ah, thanks, Tuvok. Hadn't thought about that. Jabin is hailing us, Captain. You have made an enemy today. Mr. Paris, put some distance between us and this place. Well, well, well. So ship has been damaged. We still need to build that cargo bay, but that is on the way. And of course, we're now officially stranded in the Delta Quadrant. So let's actually repair the ship. So we can assign this work team to repair the hull. And that works at 1 duranium for 3 hull points. So yeah, it's going to take us 160 hull points. So yes, that's a fair bit of duranium. We will make our way to the intermediate system here. So we have our cargo bay, which should make Harry very happy. So we've got crew quarters. Let's get more hull. Let's switch them over to food. Because if we can, let's try and keep morale in this top bracket. Because if we go to morale here, the high morale threshold gives us bonuses, less time building, upgrade, repairing, and researching if we maintain morale above 3,000. We've currently got a few morale buffs, and the main debuff is all the emergency quarters we've got. So our nice warp core view, we will need to upgrade that relatively soon. Crew is broadly happy. We've got our heroes. Combat. Our combat power is 80. That will go up a little more as our hull gets repaired. Oh, we can now build normal crew quarters, can't we? Which, yeah, let's do here. Oh, and we now have 15 tritanium, so we can get both of these systems repaired, which we will do in due course. So yeah, hull reinforcements, small battery compartments. Let's get that cooking. Yeah, let's head to the final sector. Okay, so we have our nice crew quarters up and running. Yeah, let's get some of these shuttle bay systems repaired. "70,000 light years from home. It seems we're in this together, Commander. Your decision didn't win you any friends, Kazon, Marquis, and Starfleet, but I respect you for it. Their anger is justified, but we have more pressing concerns. 2 crews on 1 ship, stranded in the Delta Quadrant, fighting for survival. I mean, we do technically still have 2 ships, Janeway, but, you know, the Valjean isn't important. I know a thing or two about survival. The Marquis are a motley crew. We had to learn to put our differences aside and work together to coexist." Coexist, Well, Commander, I'd like to offer you the position of Voyager's first officer. First officer? You're willing to trust a Marquis with that responsibility? I'm learning to adapt. This is a new beginning, a chance to forge a new path together. Neelix, Kess, you wanted to see me? Do you need anything else before you leave? Supplies? Water? Medicine? Please leave. Well, that's what we wanted to discuss. We'd like to go with you. Before you say anything, Captain, we both very much want to be a part of your journey. I can offer you so much in this sector, Captain. Need a guide? Supplies? Contacts? And a cook? Oh, you haven't lived until you've tasted my Angler-Bosk. But more than that, Captain, I can be your morale officer. Keep those smiles bright on this long journey home. I have a feeling you'll need that. A guide, a cook, and a morale officer? That's quite an offer, Mr. Neelix. And Kess, what about you? What do you hope to gain from this journey? I want to see the galaxy. There's so much out there I don't know. So much to explore and discover. Perhaps this journey could help me understand my own telepathic abilities better. Learn more. Develop them. But I also want to help. After the doctor cured my wounds, I realized I want to help people too. Maybe I could learn from him. Assist in sickbay. I think the doctor would be glad to have you. Very well then. Welcome aboard. Captain, you might want to see this. Looks like we've stirred up a little trouble. In a good way, I think. A sudden distress call reveals Voyager's victory over Jabin sparked a mass escape from the Kazon slave camp. Janeway wastes no time ordering the desperate survivors to be beamed aboard. Neelix is surprised to find another Talaxian. Zabian, who was captured while exploring the Okampa landscape, gratefully joins the growing crowd of survivors seeking the Doctor's care. Well, that's a lot of crew. Alright everybody, listen up. We're alone in an uncharted part of the galaxy, facing unknown dangers. We must work together to survive. Commander Chakotay and I have agreed to unite our crews as one Starfleet crew. I love that. We're going to work together under my leadership, doing everything I say. As the only Starfleet vessel in the Delta Quadrant, we'll continue to explore. But our primary goal is to find a way back to the Federation. 75 years is unacceptable. Yes, we are definitely the only Starfleet vessel in the Delta Quadrant. Totally. We'll search for shortcuts and new technologies to get us home faster. Somewhere along this journey, we'll find a way back. Well spoken, Captain. Mr. Paris, you've proven yourself a skilled pilot and a valuable member of this crew. I hereby appoint you as our flight control officer. For the first time in my life, I don't know what to say. Perhaps a state you'd like to embrace more frequently from now on, Lieutenant Paris. Lieutenant Paris has a nice ring to it, don't you think? Hey, Harry, I bet your promotion is just around the corner. Oh boy, imagine me becoming captain one day. No, I'd rather not. Very well, gentlemen. As your first official act in your new position, Lieutenant Paris, set a new course. We're flying home. Excellent, excellent. So we've now officially finished the first sector and the tutorial. We will stay here for a moment to just eke out as much of the resources and primarily the science that we can get started on. There we go. Oh, I don't like doing this, but yeah, let's get some more emergency quarters up on deck 2. Well, science is always useful, so let's go straight there. We have detected a deactivated alien probe of unknown origin. It is not transmitting any signals, but it could contain valuable data that we can acquire for scientific research. Well, let's conduct a detailed analysis, baby. Come on. Well. Phooey. Ooh, what have we got down here? Ooh, more science. For the time being, let's just run around grabbing the useful resources. Oh yes, small battery compartment. Okay, let's do that. While scanning the ring system of a Class D planet, Voyager detects traces of the 247th element, a major breakthrough for the Federation. Analyzing these samples could provide valuable scientific insights. Well, let's dispatch a team to investigate, why not? Numerous bodies were discovered in varying stages of decomposition. Each was covered in a fibrous membrane-like substance creating a disturbing scene. Ah, yes, this is the episode where Harry Kim dies. So do we want to scan the remains for residual energy, examine the bodies for clues? I like science. Let's scan the remains for residual energy or anomalies. Come on. Oh, damn it. Scans confirm that the fibrous membrane is indeed composed of the newly discovered 247th element. However, current data is insufficient to determine any practical applications. That's disappointing. Because I know what that potentially reveals. We're going to fly back to the first system and scoop up as many resources as we can while we build up our last little bit of science. Okay, so emergency quarters are operational. Now we are running up to the limit of our current power output. Oh yeah, let's get the Aero Shuttle Bay online. I can't remember how much power that takes, but that might be all we can accommodate in terms of building. Ooh, Hydroponics Bay. That's good. There's nowhere to build it, but it's good to have access to it. Let's get more science. Okay, Aero Shuttle Bay. Oh, it takes 8 power, so we can't afford that. I don't really mind that, to be honest. I'm not particularly fond of the Aero Shuttle Bay. If we turn off this cargo bay, for example, because we don't currently need the overhead, and turn this on, yeah, this gives us access to trade offers. It's very rare that there's any trade offers that I'll take, so I'm happy to leave that off for now. And there is Science Tier 2. Our hull is now completely repaired, and we'll go straight for the deuterium because I imagine we'll need it. Okay, and let's risk the ship, why not? Let's go here and just clean up these resources. May as well not risk the ship. We can't fit that much duranium. We'll destroy the vessel. What can go wrong? That can go wrong. The tractor beam. Me and the tractor beam go way back. The tractor beam has never let me down. And you're not going to start now, are you? Perfect. We have nearly 69 science. The resource analysis so that we can get a bit more information while we're scanning. We'll stock up on this. And I think we will call it there. Let's head to our next sector. Well, that seems like a perfect place to end this first episode of Star Trek Voyager Across the Unknown. Thank you everyone for watching, and please leave any feedback. This is my first proper YouTube video, and the start of hopefully many episodes in this journey across the Delta Quadrant. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time.